logarithmic functions. So below is the definition of a logarithmic function here. It says a logarithm base b of a positive number x satisfies the following definition. So the initial conditions here is x is greater than 0, b is greater than 0, and b is not equal to 1. So we have to keep in mind those conditions when we're dealing with these logs and exponentials. Logs specifically here. So just be careful with those conditions. Remember, x is greater than 0, b is greater than 0, and b is not equal to 1. So now from there, let's take a look at this equivalent property here. It says y equals log base b of x is equivalent to by equals x. Now this is one of the biggest forms we deal with when we deal with these logs and exponentials, is the fact that most of the time we kind of go back and forth between these two forms, solving equations and actually just getting values for logs at times. So we'll talk about that as time goes on. But look below here now. So remember, this is something you're going to want to memorize in order to deal with these logs and exponentials. Okay, so anyways, this says where we read log subscript b of x as the logarithm with base b of x or log base b of x. And that's what I've been saying all along. That seems faster to say. Log base b of x. So the next condition here says the logarithm y is the exponent to which b must be raised to get x. So they're talking about this side now. They're saying y is the exponent that b must be raised to get x. And that's what we see there. And like I said before, we're going to go between these forms for almost every problem, one way or the other, it seems like, when we're dealing with these logs. We'll talk about the rest of that in a bit. So let's take a look at the first problem here. So look what this says. It says, for the following exercises, rewrite each equation in exponential form. So we're going to take number 6. We'll also take 8. And I think that'll be enough to see how this form actually works. Now we're talking about exponential form here. So let's go back. This here is my log form, and this here is my exponential form. And if you look at where we're at, we're actually starting here. And it's asking us, and see that we're starting there, to write it in the other form. So we have to write it in this form here. So that's what we're going to do here. All right, so let's take a look at this then. Okay, so now this simply is going to be, I'm going to take this base, and that's going to be my 4. And then I'm going to take it to the power of the other side, which is m. And then it's going to equal q. So there it is. That's all we're told to do here is rewrite each equation in exponential form. And that's an exponential form there for the log equation. Now we're going to do the same thing for the next one. So again, this is more of just getting used to a process here. So it's going to be the 16, that's my base, and it's going to be to the power of the other side, which is the x, and that equals y. So there it is. We just did 2 equations and rewrote them as exponential form.